Okay, guys, so I'm trying to finish up the final part of this. It took me like a week because I was in the process of moving and sleeping in my car and figuring out other stuff. But now, since the gang stalker people at my apartment did something to make something smell like it's burning, so that we can get out of the house, I just got in the car and now I'm finishing it up finally. So, this audio recording was about 60 minutes long, and I'm at the 48-minute mark, 48-minute 28-second mark, and I'm just showing how think I made already 6 or 7 parts to break it down so that it's not one extremely long video. But I wanted to show this part. This is like shortly after he was saying something like, this is the CPS worker in Oregon, in Portland, Oregon. So he's basically like covering for his colleagues, trying to make excuses for them. Excuse me. At the same time, it did sound like a little bit like he lied on one of them, because he was saying something about my attorney, and then as if she was actually saying that she's not really working with me anymore, and she never told me anything about it. As soon as I told him she didn't tell me anything about it, and he said, well, I'm not really sure. So, but this is the part I was trying to show, like how they try to force you into more programs and stuff so that they can further have their eyes on you and force you. So basically, I told this dude that my previous therapist was an intern, and he took everything I said and he got jealous because I was improving in life. I was telling this man about some safety concerns about the apartment that I moved out of. Before I moved out, I was telling him about the things that was going on. He told me that I was paranoid. It's like he couldn't decipher, and now I see it's like he was being like not deranged, but I need to find the word later to describe like how his behavior was. It's almost like the term I hear people say online sometimes is like he was a happiness hater, like he was miserable himself. And I even have a photo that showed that, how he was sitting in the session with me like he was bored out of his mind, but he's the one who wanted to ask me certain questions, but it seemed like he hated his job. So when I said when I had finally stopped drinking alcohol and I had quit smoking marijuana, and I was working and I was doing better in life, and it seemed like I was getting happier after still dealing with like, pushing through the concerns I told him about, the safety concerns about my son and I living where we were living, and the harassment that I was enduring from the individuals at the neighbors where I live, and them following me, and me saying I have video proof of it. He told me that I was paranoid, and that I may have just been thinking that. Then he goes and makes a false CPS claim and says stuff that I did not even say. Saying, for example, he said, I said that my family is in a cult. Boy, if you don't, like that boy said, like that man said on the YouTube, there was actually a meme for that, from a short video clip. But the thing is, I never said that. And even if my family was in a cult, what does that have to be? What does that have to do with me being mentally unstable? How does that prove that I'm mentally unstable because I said my family's in a cult? When this is such thing of cult and people actually being in a cult. I guess they were trying to say I'm crazy. It's because I was telling him so much truth. He couldn't believe how much stuff I was revealing to him. So if I needed to talk to somebody that about the things I needed to go through, but I told this man at CPS that the last therapist I told the truth about what I was going through used it against me to cause me more trouble. Why would you continue to try to throw therapy in my face when I'm already talking to somebody else and told you I'm willing to do therapy, and I'm waiting to get another therapist through SEI, but the lady at SEI that's assigned to me is dragging her feet on getting another therapist for me. She just asked me, would I be willing and open to talk to a therapist? That's all she said. And then they got me going to some NAMI groups, but I missed the last couple groups, and the one that I did go to was the wrong group. So anyways, he was like, you guys can hear it here. And then I was doing my investigation, and it took long. It's taking way too long, and that's my fault. Oh, okay. And I'm guessing now she sort of said,
I was trying to help Janavia some, but I'm not really her attorney. I'm not actually representing her. I was kind of doing this as a courtesy. Now, her communication, I can't speak to that. She probably could have been more clear.
Anything to me.
And I could be wrong, but I'm guessing you're not paying every month for your attorney services, right? And so you don't have a
public defender.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm guessing she worked with you for a while and wanted to help you out and, be there.
I appreciate that part.
I don't know. It's tough to say because I don't know for sure, but if it would be different if we were heading to court and something like that, then she would probably be your attorney again. But I'm still investigating and trying to close this out. So what I got to do is talk to SCI, talk to Nami, see what the process is for the therapist, because I do think therapy is very helpful for you in the long run. Find a good therapist that you like.
Okay.
Because it feels to me like you could benefit from having someone to talk to you about these things that you go through.
Maybe not, because they might do like this guy and just totally go on the deep end and say something I didn't even say.
Yeah.
And then misconstrue what happened. Me wanting to get sleep doesn't mean I'm not taking your time for granted. Like he said, he think I'm taking his time for granted. But that, never mind.
Wasn't he like a grad student?
Yeah, he was a grad student. He was an intern.
So maybe every job takes some figuring out.
And you see, like, this is something that I noticed throughout the entire interview. He was always making excuses for others, but trying to pin it on me, like I'm the one who's mentally disabled. It cannot possibly, or I'm mentally ill. It cannot possibly be any fault or lack from his team or his colleagues. He kept making excuses for everyone else's poor decisions and their poor behavior. But it's like even if I was doing the right thing in his face, he still would try to find something wrong to say about it. And I don't know if that's just some programming from the schooling he had for the job that he has doing social work or whatever it was, but you can clearly see this man trying to pin it on me that something's wrong with me and all these things that everyone else is doing is my fault. And I have no control of what their actions are. And he also keeps trying to push therapy on me. Listen to what I'm saying, man. You're incompetent of doing your job. That's why it took you 6 months when the investigation was only supposed to be 60 days. And then now you trying to give me sass. he trying to give me back sass. I don't want to hear any more back sass out of you. Word. That was off of a show called Billy and Mandy. The old chocolate grandma was talking to the children. I think Mandy them people. I forgot what the little boy with the glasses name. She was like, I don't want to hear any more back sass out of you. That's what I should have told him in the interview. So yeah, this is just a quick clip to show that. I'm going to cut this part off here and then make another one after this. I try not to have them too long. Let me see. One moment.
Yeah. I just really encourage you to not let that one really bad experience turn you off from... Yeah, I've been to therapy myself. It was very helpful to me.
It was helpful to me too until that happened. Yeah. I actually done a lot of healing because of some of the practices he and I had done.
Right. So there's clearly some good things.
Yeah. I took cognitive restructuring.
Yeah. It didn't. That happens, but.
It's just like
I keep saying, sometimes things are happening in life, and we always. It's like a part of human nature is. Have you heard this saying? It's like you're the main character in your story.
Yeah.
So we all have a bias where we put ourselves first, we put ourselves in the middle because, except for like moms, they put their children first. But other than that, you don't really.
This is part pretty much the end. Sorry about that. So that we were getting ready to get up out of there. You see it's about 60 minutes and 48 seconds. So that rest of that little 9 or 10 minutes was us seeing the last little pieces. There were some things he shared outside about what happened at the apartment complex that I used to live at, about someone else facing those same issues. And that's the reason why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing here, because there's other people going through these things and they don't know how to articulate it, but they know they're being played with, but they just don't know how to articulate what they're going through and show examples of how these people are playing with them. And that's why I do what I'm doing now, and I put it all out there the way I do, because I take these risks and put my own self on the line so that everyone else can see what they put people through. And I don't believe it's just African American. And I don't usually like to use that word, just the same reason another guy said, like, there's people that are actually white in that, or in Africa, and if they come here and become a citizen, they can be called African American. So it's not necessarily like a color thing. That's kind of what I'm trying to say here, is that is something deeper than that, and there's something else behind. There's another reason why these people try to like hold people back, and sometimes it's because you have spiritual gifts, or you know a lot of knowledge about what's really happening in the government, and even though you're not showing or telling everybody on a large scale, they watch you so close and they know that you know certain things because you were interacting with some government officials, and they is like, I won't go into that right now, but it's some things that I know on a deeper level because of some things that some people did in the government, and I witnessed it with my to all myself. And they even been sending people who's been watching me, who knew things about me that was 3 years old prior to the time I met that individual, and they told me a lot about that stuff, and that's how I know that they were watching me. I don't know if they were exactly the CIA, the FBI, or all three of the bureaus that you can think of, like the DHS or whoever, but just forget everything I just said at the end part. Not forget it, but like, that part's not important. The main important part is what I'm trying to show is how they try to get people to go through these processes and try to hold you back and block you from moving forward in life because of what you know. And you can be a powerful individual because of what you know, and they don't want you making it out there to be successful because you know some ins and outs. And if you have money, you can achieve certain things. And it goes deeper, but I'm just not going into it all here because of timing, and I don't know if some people would be patient enough to sit here and hear it. So I try my best to keep it as short as I possibly can and fit it all in one, so you don't have to go and fundle and find, like, searching through different videos to find certain information. I pray to God that Yeshua, my ancestors, my angels, help the right people find these videos so they can get this information. So even if something did happen long down the line, other people will already know this information and be able to spread it themselves in however different kind of way they can. And that's it. I'm going to end that part here, but please pay attention and see how they try to put, like, you guys see how he was trying to make it be my fault that other people weren't doing their jobs so that they can continue to force me to go through their programs and do what they want me to do so they can make money off of me, and also treat me like I'm an incompetent person who don't, like, I'm like, I need guardianship and I can't think for myself and I can't function. I'm irresponsible. I'm not mature enough. Basically, incompetence, incompetence, incompetence. Everything they're trying to say that I am, they are. That's it. Thanks.